So, Tony and myself have come this week to Pyle Garden Centre to have a little look around at the plants and see what they've got on offer. So there's plenty of colour here and I'm just spoilt for choice. I don't know what I'm looking for, but let's take a look. When you actually take a look around the plants, you realise that you've already got some of them. I've got these in the garden and I'd forgotten what they were called. And it's the saxifraga, blackberry and apple pie. I've got two of these in the garden. Lovely leaves on that, very waxy. And I do love a geum in the garden. And just look at all these different ones. That's another one that I've got in our garden, the totally tangerine. That's a lovely colour as well, the Scarlet Tempest. Beautiful. I might get one of them. They've got so many different varieties. I just don't know which one to pick. Lovely colours here. What I love when shopping in a garden centre is some bargain plants. And these little plants are mix and match, £5.99 each, 3 for £15. Lovely little hostas there, called a raspberry sundae. And also lots of little heucheras, black taffeta and plum cascade. So what else have we got moving along? Different sedums. That's a really good price. Just to try some new plants in the garden. Crosmere, Ember Glow. Lovely. Now, as you know, I love purple in the garden. And just look at those there. Definitely a magnet for the bees. Lovely. £8.99. It's not a bad price. And lovely colour acers too. At the back there. Lovely colour there on those dahlias. A dahlia Happy Days Halo. Beautiful shades on them. So Tony had to buy something and he fancies a new black pot and a Chamaerops. I don't know where we're going to put it because we really are running out of space. And he's also got a pineapple plant there somewhere. Let's have a look. What is it, Tone? How much is that then?
11 quid.
That's not bad. £11. Put that in the tiki bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
No, in the glasses.
Oh, right, yeah. Put it in the greenhouse. Lovely. They've got a lovely selection here of hostas and some shade-loving plants, some ferns. Lovely. Look at that one there. A Victorian lady fern, $12.99. That's something that I haven't got, but I have got plenty of ferns. So what I've been looking for the last few visits to garden centres is a spotty dotty, but I just can't find one anywhere. So I think it's going to have to be... Have we found one? Oh, I thought Tony had found one then. Never mind. Some more ferns. And looking at that little hydrangea there, those ones for that size, $17.99. Now, as you know, I bought mine in Tesco's for $7.99. So it just goes to show, it does pay to shop around sometimes, but it is nice to visit the garden centre and see what they've got. And just look at the lovely colour on them. A heuchera wild berry. And then that colour there, Indian summer cranberry. Lovely shades. I do like a shade-loving plant. Lovely. So they also sell some bonsai trees here. And look at them. Some lovely examples. £65 for those ones there. And those ones, £56 for them. So we're back now from the garden centre and time to show you what we've come back with. So I come away with 3 of these for £15 and I fancied these for a while with their lovely large leathery leaves. Tony picked up a pineapple plant for the greenhouse and I got a geum, which is a coral tempest. Lovely bright flowers on that. And then the Chamaerops. So that Chamaerops was $39.99. And it's going to go into that black pot there. So that's a job to be getting on with. So it's Sunday evening now and we've had yet another beautiful day here in East South Wales. The temperatures have been around about 20 degrees and it's still full sunshine. No sign of any rain whatsoever yet. Fingers crossed now for this week. So I've had a really busy day today, just making a few subtle changes in the garden. And it's normally around about this time of year that I just like to go around, have a look at the planting, see what's working, what's not working, and make a few little changes. So I'll take you around now and show you what I've been doing. So let's make a start to see the right hand side of the garden as I come out of the back door. So you'll see here that the ferns now are really springing back to life, and behind there I did have a Fatsia spider's web, but that has been replaced now with that lovely fern. And you'll also notice that I've trimmed back quite a few of the branches there on that Fatsia japonica. And at the front there now, I've planted in the 3 elephant's ears. So hopefully, it said to plant them 30 centimetres apart, and they should grow to form quite a decent mound there of lovely large leaves. And that is right next door to the wildlife pond there, and the polycarpa and the jasmine behind. And the new geum, they really brighten up the border there. They're lovely coral colours. Just look at those in the sunshine. Beautiful. So you know that I also love purple in the garden. And planted here, I've got the Pittosporum Bano Bay, and that's planted next to the Dicksonia Antarctica. And just look how big now that's getting. Well, over the other side of this bed, I did have quite a few grasses. So if I just walk around here, you'll see now that I've just added in a few more plants. So I've got another Bano Bay there on the corner. So you can probably see that better now from this angle. And I love the leaves on that. The new growth comes out a lovely delicate green. And I've tried to pick up the purple theme by planting at the side of it there a lovely heucherella. And just look at those leaves there. They are quite waxy. They look a little bit like a heuchera. And behind there, tucked in, is where I've now planted the Fatsia spider's web. And those large leaves behind, so the flowers now have finished. So I've trimmed them away, but I do leave the leaves there in place. And I've got, just over that side there, some more ferns, some heucheras. And just on the left there, that's a golden feathers. And that's got some lovely lilac flowers. So that also has got a tinge of purple. So everything here now in this bed, I'm hoping will tie in beautifully together. So there's another Bano Bay over there. And just to tie in that purple theme, I've just added in there with the yucca. So that's quite an arid bed with plenty of grit, is an Ionium, and that gets full sun there in the morning. So I leave that there now for the rest of the season, and then I'll take that back out and pot it back up then in the greenhouse for the winter months. And as I'm in this part of the garden, let me just show you more and more flowers popping out on the variegated rhododendron. And this is definitely now changing daily. Plenty of buds on this. So this bed here on my left, this is where the bamboo used to be. And you can see now that I've cleared a lot of this area here by removing a lot of the branches of this Fatsia japonica. So this now is just a single stem plant. And I think it looks a lot better, and it's just given me a whole lot of room behind here. And I'll show you now what I've planted there. You can actually see now that I've trimmed back that Fatsia japonica on the right back. So you can actually see now the cordyline indivisa. So that's going to get a lot more sun. And it's giving a little bit of room to the Schefflerer as well in the front. So that has enabled me to find a lovely spot. And yes, you knew I'd find a spot for it, for that hydrangea. So there's a big area there now just for that to grow. And I'm much preferring that now with a lot more space. It's nice to be able to see that impressive palm there, the Indivisa. And it's grown so much and it's in beautiful health. B&M bargains, not sure how much it was, I think it was about £40. It's been in now for about a year or so. And it has probably grown 4 times the size since it's gone in. So if we continue now down the garden path, and it's a beautiful evening tonight, you can see that I've also trimmed back that Fatsia japonica there, and that just allows me access now to get around the corner. And you'd be really surprised just how much came out of this garden. There was quite a bit really that come out, quite a few branches and leaves. And the euphorbia now, the flowers are coming to the end, but it's doing well. It's quite tall this year. And that Photinia crunchy behind, that's doing really well. That's a plant that was popped in this season. And beautiful leaves on that, and it's flowered too. So this plant now is well over 6 foot tall, and it gives a lovely backdrop now in the garden. So Tony Chamaerops has now been planted into the pot, and that is just near the seating area. And the funny thing is, we've got lots of different palms in the garden, but we haven't got one single palm in a pot, which is unusual. So it'll be nice to have something around where we sit. And it's got plenty of growth in the middle. So it seems to be in quite good health. So I've given it a little bit of a feed now with some liquid seaweed in the water. And hopefully now that'll green up and be a lovely addition to the seating area. So Tony's pineapple plant, that has been repotted into more of a sandy mix. And when I took it out of the pot, I noticed that it had 3 little pups. So I've gently just separated them from the main plant and potted them up now into smaller pots. And hopefully now these will grow and give me 3 new pineapple plants. Beautiful. It was lovely to come out this morning and actually see that we'd had some rain overnight. The garden really needed it. It was so dry. I've been managing with the hose pipe, but it's not the same as a really good downpour. And I've come out this morning and everything now seems to have really just pushed up with a bit of growth overnight with that extra rainfall. Fantastic. So like I was saying, it was absolutely fantastic to come out this morning and see that we'd had a good downpour of rain overnight. Now this has been so beneficial for the plants, and I can see that they've really enjoyed it. So I was looking this morning at this Fatsia japonica here, and maybe I've gone a little bit too far with the old pruning on this one, but don't be alarmed. It will come back with some new growth sort of halfway up the stem, or if not, definitely from the base. So it will fill out once again. So I'm not too bothered on that. So as we move down the garden, the one thing that really struck me this morning after the rainfall is the amount of growth there that's come out at the top of the tetrapanax. And those leaves are reaching for the sky now. And we're still only mid-May, which is absolutely fantastic news. I think this plant is going to get to some really good height this year. And it's only 3 years old. Just look at that there. So much growth. It's very windy today and it's not as warm as it has been. It's only 11 degrees today. But never mind. The rain has definitely done the garden some good. And since that bamboo has been moved out of this area here, I know it was quite a job to remove it. But I'm really loving now the extra colour in this part of the garden. And hopefully the hydrangea there will fill up that space. So I'm really looking forward to that. And it's also nice to be able to see the indivisa as you walk down the garden. Fantastic. And another thing that really struck me this morning is the beautiful colour on these leaves. Now, it's not really showing up as bright on camera as it is in real life. But this is a Photinia Louise. Beautiful pink edging. And it's such a vibrant pink as well. I mean, just look at that. So bright. So thank you so much for watching today. And if you haven't already, please like, comment and subscribe, as that really does help the channel to grow. And also consider just pressing the hype button, as this really does allow the channel to be seen by a lot more viewers. So until next time, I hope you've really enjoyed watching today, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.